HPC supports efforts to understand climate change, plan disaster response strategies, and develop policies for carbon reduction. So HPC also aids researchers in exploring the effectiveness of geoengineering solutions and renewable energy impacts on global temperature. So these are all the points just already you may be discussed for the past 2 days. I know that a lot of paper presentation, everything already happened. But this HPC usage, you should keep in mind. These are all the places also HPC, we can use that. So the energy sector, HPC accelerates the research and development of renewable energy sources, including solar, wind, and geothermal power. For instance, HPC-driven simulation helps in designing more efficient wind turbines and optimizing the solar panel layouts. So HPC can plan accordingly. So HPC supports grid management. Systems that monitor energy flow, predict demand. I told you already, the electricity department, how the energy we can predict and plan very well in advance, and integrate the renewable sources, enhancing the reliability of affordability of clean energy. We can use that in HPC in many ways. So another very important point, urban development and smart cities. So HPC contributes these things. So traffic management. Traffic management simulating urban traffic patterns to optimize flow and reduce the congestion. Okay, resource management, analyzing the data from various urban system, water supply, waste management to enhance the efficiency and sustainability. So my conclusion, I'll reach my conclusion part. By harnessing the capabilities of high-performance computing, India can effectively address various challenges related to its sustainable development goals. This is your topic of your conference. HPC not only enables better data-driven decision-making, but also foster innovation across sectors, across all sectors, okay, making it the vital tool for country's mission for sustainable development. And HPC also is a powerful enabler of sustainable development, bridging the gap between the technology and the societal needs. By harnessing the HPC capability, India can create efficient solution to pressing challenges across the agriculture, healthcare, energy, urbanization, and industry. The integration of the HPC into India's development strategies will be essential for meeting the SDG targets, advancing economic growth, and improving the well-being of its citizens. So, through the continuous investment in HPC and the development of public-private partnership in India can leverage technology to create more sustainable, strong, and equitable future. So, each and every 5 years we are planning, or we are purchasing, or we are upgrading the HPC system. Because of just like that, we are not wasting money. Because this 900 crore, 400 crore, and 200 crore, 300 crore. So government of India, just like that, will not sign. So the latest 900 crore project, so Finance Minister and Prime Minister, is Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister, and Modi. So for signing these things, a lot of justification we have to give. Because they will ask just like that, they will not sign, okay, you can take 900 crore and you can purchase. Not like that. They will ask what is the impact, what you are going to do, what is the benefit to the country. So all those things we have to answer properly, and we have to submit a proper report. And after that only Nirmala Sitharaman signs, okay, the file is cleared. Then only the computer was purchased. So lot of difficulties. So these for infrastructure upgradation always required for improvement of the country. And the investment of HPC infrastructure and training is essential. Fully realize this benefits positioning of India as a leader in the global sustainability movement. Thank you very much for the patience. And once again, thank you very much for organizers, because this once I received this topic, mainly this smart technology for sustainable development goals. So I very much appreciated Dr. Koteswaran sir and Nalini madam, Dr. Nalini, and all other colleagues, your department. And they told me, sir, you can give one small talk about HPC related things. Then I thought, okay, I realized, because we are very much using for HPC for these SDG goals. So anyhow, so dear students, and really I'm very, very happy in front of you. Today I spent some time, and all are maybe happy. Yes, I think today before my speech or my talk starts, nobody aware about what is supercomputer. Nobody aware what is supercomputer, what is HPC. Now, I hope you can able to understand what is HPC and what is supercomputer. Correct? Yes, that is enough. And you can try to, if anyone interested for electronic students or computer science student or electrical students, so you can take projects also for working with a supercomputing facility. And we are in our website, we are two times yearly we are getting the application form for giving the project work, final year project work. Suppose all are you are in first year, maybe you are in third year or fourth year, if you require to do project work for 3 months or 4 months or 5 months project work, you can apply. You can apply through that website, okay? So we will scrutinize. I think there is some certain formalities are there. Okay, you can fulfill that, and definitely we will. You can come and work with our office. You can directly work with the supercomputer, and we are providing the a residential facility. We are having a guest house, so you can come and stay there, and you can work for 2 months, 3 months, and there is no payment, free of cost for guest house facility is there, and we are not giving any stipend. We are not having any formalized stipend. We are not having. So if anyone interested, you can apply and can come. So any other questions, please? Any other questions? Huh? Yeah, please, sir, please.
Sir,
Yeah.
very wonderful session today. I'm Dr. Shivakumar. I came from Andhra Pradesh. I'm the chairman for IEEE Computer Society.
Okay.
I'm very fortunate to listen few things from your speech.
Okay.
Fortunately, missed the early part. I want to know what kind of that artificial intelligence algorithm used for especially that forecasting.
Yeah, actually, when we are very good question. When we are running the model like ensemble model, we are running the ensemble model for different time gaps. The same model with the different time gaps. In that running that ensemble model, we are using the AI concept for extracting the insights of the each and every model and comparing that outputs and giving the single output to the farmers. So yes, this is the way we are using that.
Actually, now the central government have initiative to share 25% for research collaboration with the academic institutions. Because recently come to know that NSTL, Naval Research Center, Visakhapatnam, the director also told that they're ready to spend nearly 25% of the fund for research collaboration with academic institutions. Is there any kind of academic collaboration are you looking for?
Correct. Actually, I already told you, my office, the NCMR WF is working under the Ministry of Earth Science. Ministry of Earth Science is the ministry. We are the part of the ministry. The Ministry of Earth Science having that type of opportunity for fund allocation of 25%, but you have to do some project with earth related some subject and your own subject of near about 70%. 25% you have to keep earth related topics and you can do that purpose, we can give a fund. So there is a format and there is outreach programs are there and there is a different section and you can go through our MOS website and you will get all those details, sir. So there is opportunities are there in MOS. Not in my office. In actually NCMRW is basically attached office of ministry. We are having the only research and development activities only. We are not giving any project. We are not giving any project to any universities.
Okay.
We are having the, in fact, MOU.
MOU, yes.
MOU with the universities for any research purpose. You can come and work and you can take model or you can use our supercomputer and all those things. We are having MOU. So you can send students for 10 students, 15 students for 2 weeks, 3 weeks for training, specialized training for that. So we can provide that.
Are you doing any NVIDIA related HPC for solving image, that is satellite images,
Yeah,
for
now-
weather forecasting?
Now the recent computer we procured, the evidence system. So these all NVIDIA graphics cards are there. For that only we are going to do that. Our AIML programs we are going to execute in that NVIDIA graphics GPU based processor machines. So that's why this time we got around 90% CPU based and 10% GPU based for running AIML only, for that purpose only. So we are having that evidence system with the NVIDIA graphics card. Yeah.
Thank you for your wonderful information.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir. Any more questions, my dear students? Thank you very much. Thank you once again for all organizers for wonderful arrangement, and I think now, madam, you can take care. Sorry, sir. Thank you very much.
Your profound insights have not only illuminated our understanding, but have also served as a catalyst, inspiring us to pursue even greater excellence in our endeavors. We are deeply grateful for your guidance, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. R. Geeta, HOD of CSE, to honor Dr. Balakrishnan Adyaman, sir, with a certificate. Now I invite Mr. S.J. Rajarajan, sir, Assistant Professor in MEC Department, to introduce our next guest speaker, Mr. Pon Manivanan GB, sir, former President of L&T Technology Services, Chennai.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I am truly delighted to welcome Mr. Pon Manivannan GP to our event today. Mr. Pon Manivannan sir is the former Vice President of L&T and Technology Services in Chennai, where he led with great skill, innovation, and a passion for advanced technology. He is well-respected leader in the industry, and his work has inspired many to reach for excellence. We are lucky to have him here with us to share his knowledge and experiences, which I am sure will be enlightened for all of us. On behalf of everyone, a warm welcome to Mr. Pon Manivannan, sir. We are excited to learn from you, sir. Please welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure to, it's a very pet subject of me. And I'm really happy and honored to be present here and share my views on the sustainability. And today, the topic is like opportunities for industry and academia for collaboration. Rather, that's not the actually my aim is. My aim is actually here, what drives you for academia industry collaboration? Why is the need? And how serious is that? And how deep this collaboration has to be? Is the current classical collaboration model is going to help us? So I'll just give the background so that I'll just take you through some slides so that you will be able to appreciate what is SDGs all about. The topic that I will cover is planetary system model. We always know about any system, we can do a modeling. So similarly, can we be able to model the planet Earth? Maybe to some extent, at a macro level, an attempt has been made. Now, why is that? Because what you do something in somewhere, it affects some other place, whether it is ocean or on land or in atmosphere. So this has been going on for the last 20 years, and a very good model has been emulated. And to some extent, I think a lot of scientists are working on this, and we will talk about that. Now, there are a lot of indicators for planet health. Like we have our own checkup, right? Annual health checkup. So we need to see our planet health checkup. And this has been recently, so before I do a modeling, is there a threshold to which I can exploit the Mother Earth? So that is where something called as a concept called planet boundary has been evolved. And a good amount of work has been done. And environment footprint, how do we map that with the planet boundary? Of course, there are indicators as per UN, and what is the gap as per 2024 report. And now comes the smart technologies or AI. Now, how relevant it is? Is it going to accelerate my goal or it is going to retard? So we will talk about that. And the last one will be circular economy. Some of you may be knowing, but some of you it will be a new acronyms. So I'll just try to see how much I can be able to cover that. Hope in the last row, I think people are able to see that. So if you really look at in terms of the model, you can divide that into one is biosphere, and then the geosphere, and anything soil and up to this level, you call it a lithosphere. Now, why it is relevant? This all affects your climate. Now, how this is affected? Now, as a human habitat, in the last maybe around 400, 500 years, we have exploited the earth and accelerated by industrialization. Now, what has driven that is basically agriculture, urbanization, and deforestation, manufacturing, industrial scale fishing. Fishing was there, but it didn't affect too much. But industrial scale fishing has impacted the ocean environment or marine environment very significantly. Now you can see that how the link. Now, anthrosphere. What is anthrosphere? Where human element is impacting the earth, and human contribution is impacting the earth. So this is how you have to look out in terms of earth system. Now, You can see that in terms of the arrow marks and the color, how each one is totally tightly coupled and interdependent. So we saw the systems model because within that half an hour or 40 minutes, I have one slide for each of this topic. That's how I can be able to. So it's a big subject by itself. So one slide on systems modeling, one on boundary. Now what is boundary? Now everyone have a threshold, right? Like for example, for me to walk or run or whatever the activity that I do, right? Or some intellectual capacity. Everything have their own threshold. It depends on the individual. Now, if you look at in terms of Earth, you can divide that into 9 categories. What are those 9? One is climate change. Climate change, yes, it is cyclic, seasonal, but if that cycle goes beyond a threshold, you call it climate change. And what is impacting that? And whether it is irreversible or it can be brought back to normality. So that's where we talk about in terms of climate change. The next one is biosphere integrity. One example I can give you quote here is mass scale glacier melting. So these are some of the examples in terms of biosphere integrity getting affected. And this is again greatly due to some geochemical life cycle change and pollution. Land system change. See, as the population grows, what happens? We try to build houses, we try to build factories. Now, by doing that, what is happening here is we are trying to change the land system ecosystem, right? And that is what, like for example, concretization, building too many buildings, how it is going to affect your soil and how it is going to affect the soil content, the moisture, the underwater table, all that. Then fresh water. Now, though you have 75% sea water, but still fresh water is less than 1%. Today, people are fearing that we may lose fresh water on a long term. Now, modification to geochemical flows is basically earth soil's nutrient content. Nutrient is getting affected. For example, you try to have your agriculture cycle. Earlier we used to have like once in 3 times in a year, like, and it was on a mediocre level. The irrigation was happening, but the moment we went into mass scale irrigation and mass scale plantation, etc., Earth has its own threshold by which it can regenerate. It requires some time. Like for example, if you run, right? After some point, you take a pause for you to really recover, right? Same thing also applies to Earth. And that is where geochemical flows totally affects your nutrient and nutrient content. Ocean acidification. What will affect? Actually, it will affect all the fishes and all the marine biology will get affected. It will be eroded. And next thing is aerosol. You have for any kind of human luxury, we have right from perfumes to all kind of aerosols for lubricant, cleaning, all kinds of things. How that is affecting? And the last one is novelties. All new technologies, new products, all fancy products, without even being tested whether it is eco-friendly, or when I retire that product. Retire means after the end of the cycle, right? When I throw the product, whether it is going to affect the soil, or if I throw that in ocean, how it is going to affect. Without knowing all that, during the use, during the manufacturing, all the life cycle phases, without knowing that, we bring out a lot of products. And that has resulted huge impact on Mother Earth. Now, I talked about all the 9 areas. Now, if you look at in terms of the graph, right? Now, this chart it has 9 zones. And you can see that there is circle, there is red. Circle is, green area is where we have not crossed the boundary, which is a safer limit for us to operate. But the moment you go to orange, red, that means it is going to a point of no return. So now you can see there are certain areas where we have already crossed. And that is where the concept called Earth Overshoot Day. Whatever the terms I am just explaining there, if you want to know more, I think it's better you go through some Google, because there are tons of information there. So Earth Overshoot Day. Overshoot is basically what Earth is capable of supplying. When I'm exploiting that, right, beyond the limit, I'm overshooting its capacity. Any guess today, all Earth resources put together, the human population today has exploited 1.7 times Earth capacity. 70% more than what it can hold or sustain and it can provide. So that is where we are, and you can see the color and all that. Now, okay, I'll come to the next one. So we saw that boundary, right? So there are some red, there are some green, right? Now, if you see on the right side, the drivers, what are all the things that I do on Earth, which reflects in that boundary condition being impacted? Now you can see that emission, greenhouse gas, biomass burning, fossil fuel, synthetic CFCs, nitrogen oxide, then industrial nitrogen, and as well as nitrogen fixing crop, all the fertilizers like nitrogen and phosphor driven, right, has really spoiled the earth, the nutrient capacity. And industrial and household water use, irrigation, livestock. You know, we always think that without understanding that livestock, how to really breed, we just, without understanding that whole ecosystem, we breed. And in US and Europe, without understanding that closed loop, now they have realized the livestock has polluted the earth. How? There is a different field of study on that. Now, in terms of invasive species, right? When this kind of alteration happens, what happens, no? A lot of marine species and birds and animals, they migrate and they become a foreign species to particular land, and they totally alter the ecosystem there. And we have done heavy harvesting of biomasses. So these are the 16 drivers impacting our 9. And you can see that there are numbers there, and how each and everything is really interconnected. There are color codes there, and the thick line is direct, and some of the dotted line is like indirect impact, may not be direct. So this is how the relationship. Now you can see that it is very, very complex now. Very difficult to understand and model. So now this is where the boundary drivers. Now let us take a snapshot. What was in 2009 and what is in 2023? 2009, we already crossed 2 boundaries. And 2023, 6 out of 9 has been crossed. This is a red flag. This is what accomplished, right? They call it, right, mass extinction and all that. So it may look scary, all these pictures and all that. But the reality here is, it is only the tip of the ice, based on what we have monitored, what we have watched, all that. So you can see that the 6 boundaries where we have crossed: land use, fresh water, carbon dioxide level, biodiversity loss. You know how many species have become extinct in 100 years? More than 1 lakh. More than 1 lakh species have been extinct. And change in land and water use, nitrogen and phosphorus, and of course chemical pollution is one. So from 2 to 6 in the last almost less than 10 years, that's the scale of industrialization has an impact on the Mother Earth. Now, this is 2024. Now, in 2024, if you really look at in terms of this is a threshold, safe operating limit, somewhat temporarily we can overshoot, but these are all the zones. You have to do something there. I don't know what will happen. So you can see that high risk zone is, I have highlighted there. One is that biogeochemical flows, novelties, biosphere integrity, and climate change. And just to connect the dots, right? Climate change, I said, climate will become unpredictable. Whatever we say that we have high performance computers, supercomputers, without understanding the nuances, right? If you do that, we will not be able to do the justice or do the job perfectly. Now, number of disasters versus anthropogenic activity, right? Now, you can see that this is population. And you can see that this is rural population. And this is urban population. And as you can see that, directly correlated. In fact, urban cities contribute to almost like 60% of the GHG emission through transportation, whatever, the different kinds of comforts and luxuries we have. So that is contributing in a big way. So now the disasters, you can see that different disasters. That's also being monitored. So you can see that there is a direct correlation. In fact, there is a very in-depth study also available. Data points are available. What areas have significantly contributed in terms of climate impact? And that is where the disasters are happening. You might have seen, now that you have YouTube and all that, social media is there. Everywhere that there is a flooding here, unprecedented level, rain is unprecedented, all that, right? And that is one of the reasons. Now, we have to connect the dot, right? Until some time, like maybe around 2009, UN was not accepting this. Sustainability is something to do with the planet boundaries and things like that. But once they were facing a lot of this kind of thing, and there was a task force which was set up and they analyzed. They came out and they concurred, yes, there is a relationship between this boundary and our sustainability. And that is what here you can see that how the environmental footprint and SDG goals have been linked. It doesn't come out of the blue. All these have direct connections in terms, but the only thing is, it is not one-to-one. It's one to many and many to one and many to many. So that's the kind of relationship here. So it's very difficult. You do something and it may have impact on many things. So that is the kind of situation in terms of planet boundary and SDG link. Now, we have SDG. 2015 we started, right? And every country have taken it and they have brought down to state level, district level, all that initiatives, planning, actions, investments, everything has started. Now, last year, there was a review and green is on track. This is moderate and marginal progress. This is stagnant. There is a regression. That means it is having a negative effect. So you can see that there is only a small portion we are able to see some really good impact. But now, this is only the indicator or symptoms, but we have not gone into the root. What is driving all that? We know all that in terms of theory. There are a lot of groups and subgroups working, but still linking all of that together, it's just a big Herculean task. And so finally what they have done is, okay, this is a pyramid in terms of all the 17 sustainable development goals. In terms of how healthy the environment will drive you, in terms of a thriving society for a prosperous and really sustainable economy. Now, if somebody wants to really understand how they are all linked, right? There is a specific company they have started working on in terms of SDG indicator network. It is basically all these 17 goals, there are goals, right? Unless you have a specific target to achieve, right? So there are some 169 targets there. Now against that 169 targets, as I said earlier, there are three kind of link, one to many and all that, right? So given that, this is for India. This particular graph is for India. And where do we stand? So you can see that 169 target and all those initiatives, they are tightly coupled. And if anybody is interested academically, you can go and play with that data. And it is available as an Excel upload or download you can do. And it's a visualization engine, AI based. And you can just see what is really impacting what. And it is not just one data, it is 169. So you can see the number of combinations possible. Now, this is coming to 2024. Now, there are some gaps have been identified, and I'm just highlighting. For all the countries, it is available who have signed up for SDG. Now, India, you can see that, and the various indicators like upward graph, horizontal graph or downward graph with the color and all that. So I have highlighted below. One is decreasing trend in sustainable cities, which we know, right? Any city we take, we face either flooding or any kind of uncertainty always there. So sustainable cities and the communities and the climate action is still not achievable. We may think there is a localized solution will help you, but it is not. Localized solution will help you to some extent, but it's something like this. You have a community there and you want to make that community clean. It is not that I alone make my house clean, right? And throw the junk outside to my neighbors. All of them have to do an integrated effort. That's what it means. So it applies to state level, country level and all that. That's what it means. So here you can see the different SDG goals in terms of their status right now in 2024. So we now understand where are we, right? If you really want to go through that, I have a reference in the last slide. You can go through all those documents. Tons of documents are there. Somebody who is really passionate, they want to do something to Mother Earth and make it sustainable living, at least for future generation. Please pick up one area in your area of interest and try to do something there, right? Small people, I think small contributions we can just pull up. And in fact, I was really surprised when on the first day, your correspondent, I think he made a presentation. I have not seen any institute where they only come and cut the ribbon and inaugurate and go. But he was very passionate, he was very involved. So we have a committed organization at the top So it is up to the student community and the faculty to take up. In fact, morning also I had a long chat. So he is very much inclined, and he wanted to, he is seeing that this is a very, very serious subject. It's not a fun subject. So from that perspective, I think we have to take that and analyze what is possible from my side as an individual, now as an institute or as a faculty. Now, when we see smart technologies, I can put into 3 buckets. One is individual, people, inclusivity and living. I mean, equitable access, equitable living. Now, in all these 16, I mean, it's not that all SDGs are covered here. There are certain directly impacting SDGs, and there are some targets also there. So, in each of these domain, there are already initiatives running. Now, if you are interested, you have to pick up a point. And what is currently being done? What is the gap in that? Can I be able to come out with an innovative solution, out of the box thinking? And that is what is required right now. The list is just an indicative list. It's not exhaustive. And so, yes, smart technology, AI technology is extensively being used. But only thing is, the impact of it, we are yet to see the benefit. This is in terms of prosperity. The 4 SDGs, which are directly linked to prosperity and the associated smart technology use cases. And this is something to do with the environment. So it should be the other way, actually. This slide should come first. If you do something here, and then to the society, and then the individual well-being will automatically come in, correct? So from that standpoint, if you see that these 6 are the major challenging areas where nobody has any clue. So if you feel that you are smart, intelligent, you want to contribute, pick up one sub-area, one target, and you start working on that, specifically on this natural resources and environment area. So actually this contradicts the conference theme. Smart technology, we always take it for granted. Like I said, novelties. Novelties, we never see the sustainability, environmental impact. Before that, we just declare, okay, this is really a good product, and we always talk about the positives and how it is going to impact the environment, etc., etc. We never talk about it. Same way, smart technologies. There is a separate task force working on this, and they came out, and this is based on research papers only, and wherever it has been deployed. So doesn't mean that the gray areas, there is no link. Gray area is unpublished or no information is available. So that is a potential area for you to do some research. Now, you can see that society related, out of 169 target, 67 is enabling. In the sense, it accelerates our SDG goal objective. But 31 goal is actually regressive. It's counterproductive. So we have to identify those areas so it should not affect. So the whole purpose is I'm trying to fill a tank with some water, but somebody just made a puncture, right? So something like that. So we should make it sustainable. So these areas have been identified now. And one is this 31, what extent it is regressive, or it is really regressive, or we can do a workaround. That's a subject of research. Now, economy, I think 42, and environment 25 targets. And all of that, this 1, 2, 3 is basically the target. And the green is positive, and then orange is negative. And the gray is no information is available. So, since after the review, people realized that we may not be able to achieve the target. So let me try smart technologies and see if that is going to enable. Yes, to some extent, but not fully. So then there was an independent group working on circular economy. And it's basically what you take from earth, return to the earth in the original form. Very simple concept, right? You take from earth as some mineral. You just, again, give it back in that same form, not in some other chemical formulas or some chemical waste or something like that. So that's a basic concept in circular economy. In fact, our biocycle is circular in nature. So I don't know, if you really go through that biosphere study, you will come to know that. So circular is what is sustainable, because I want industry. We need employment, right? So how do I sustain? So maybe I think I'm making a mistake in terms of manufacturing a product, but don't know how to retire or recycle, reuse, right? So can I just work on that and see to that I can be able to close the cycle? So these are all the circular economy drivers, and it need not be from the product alone. Even your manufacturing process also may not be eco-friendly or environment-friendly. It may throw a lot of byproduct as a waste, right? Wastage of materials, raw materials, etc., etc. Or that whole process may be polluting the whole environment. So it not only it starts from the design thinking, and design a product for environment. Design for environment is a new field. So similarly, from product, from thinking, the design process, and then the product realization in manufacturing, and then the product use. Product use should not create health or any other hazard to users or the society. And then once I'm done with the user, I should throw it back in the original form. So there are a lot of recycling industries who just, that's big lucrative industries. So these are all the 10 areas where circular economy, they say, will to some extent make it sustainable. Now, this is somebody has done a research, and so I'm sharing that there is a intellectual property associated with that. So I would request not to share that in any commercial platform. So this is based on some independent commercial study that how do I tie up each of these SDG goal target through a circular economy initiatives. For want of time, I'm not reading through all that lines. Basically, in every goal areas, right, we pick up the circular aspect, how that linear process or the linear economy that we call now, right, is going to really it can be made as a circular economy. So it is there for almost all the 17 goals. And actually, I'm finally coming to the topic of my talk. So you can understand how complex, and we just want to say that we want to have partnership and all that. Without understanding all this, it's not possible to have partnership. Okay. Now, the current collaboration models works like this. This is not going to give me the result. What it means is basically, I come out a lot of Mr. X is passionate on high performance computing. Y is interested on IoT. So all that each individual have their own passion and interest. Now, and they came out with coming out with a solution here. This we call it pointed solutions. But maybe it will have a small impact, correct? But whether there is a synergy, congruence, right? Is there anything like that? No. The answer is no. Now, large institutes, they do this. They pick up a topic, and it's mostly centered around some passionate faculty members. And he may be an industry knowledgeable guy, and he would have already done some homework. And he will identify working with the industries. So he's already aligned with the industry needs. And he just break that down into some small problem statement, comes out with some solutions. So you may have these kind of thing. And finally, when it matures, and that is what you call it, center of excellence. So it is not happening overnight. And it is the student and the faculty members, and with the management commitment, it can happen. This is basically every institute is doing, center of competency. Yeah, we provide Java skill, we provide whatnot, right? AI skill, ML skill and all. Now, this model will not work for SDG. Now, this is where you should work with the industries who are willing to collaborate and partner. And industries' SDG goal, it will be available in sustainability report. If you can download, any company you pick up, you can just download the sustainability report. It very deep information is there. Now, that particular institute, faculty members, they come out with initial level of exchange of information with that industry people. And based on that, it is also same. Center of competency, excellence, and but it is slightly different. It is aligned to the vision, mission of the institute, and the vision, mission of the institute is aligned to the industry needs or the society needs. I have the last slide. So, whatever I said in the earlier slide is basically you have to align to organization, and those who want to lead, they have to take the ownership, responsibility, and do the gap analysis, environmental impact analysis. This you can do pro bono activities somebody want to do, and share it with the industries. And if they feel there is a lot of good amount of work has been done, maybe they will hire you, or they will try to have work with you. And then sustainable learning, right? Now, what are the very specific skill set that is required, right? And one is strategic vision. Maybe at the entry level, we can, may not need that. But design thinking, a lot of courses are there. And social responsibility, problem solving, anticipatory skill, and interdisciplinary collaboration and skill. Now, unless the organization incentivizes these areas, it may not be a starter, or it may not be a sustainable stuff. So already in US and Europe, there are UG and PG programs for SDG. And you can have a mandatory 1 credit course for all the branches, so that at least they have the awareness about sustainability and environment. I would suggest the below areas. You pick up, again, that's a large subject. already matured, but still it has its own problem. So pick up one problem in that area and start working on it. Energy, mobility, smart community, healthcare, circular economy. And these are all different sector-specific interest you can pick up, and even you can come out with your own ideas for a small startup. I don't know how many of you have heard about Nidhi Prayas. Nidhi Prayas, it's a Government of India program where you have an idea, and that idea you wanted to take it to in terms of having a small startup based on that idea. But before that, you have to do a small proof of concept and prototype, right? And for which we may not have, the individuals may not have the money. And this is where Nidhi Prayas comes into picture. In fact, I am one of the committee member in Nidhi Prayas. So it is there in many of the institutes. And once in a quarter, they take proposals. It goes through 3 levels of screening process. And once it is done, then you will get the money. A maximum of 10 lakh will be given. It's commitment, no binding on that. So it's like a free money. But you will be monitored. You need to have there are certain expectations there. So once that is done, then the next step is you can go to there are, again, different levels of startups ecosystem there as part of Tamil Nadu government as well as Government of India. So you can still leverage those kind of funding and support mechanism. Not only funding, they also provide technology support, knowledge support, expert mentoring and counseling. Okay, these are all the references. It's not exhaustive, but okay. Just nothing to do with our main subject. Just for you to appreciate. World population, urban population, all that, 1750 to today. And Earth system trend. You can see that it's just directly visible. Everything has impacted. So what is the threshold level of Earth? Can anyone guess? 650 crores. Today we are at what? 700 plus, right? And that is where there are discussions about how do we really manage that. Because increasing population means increasing agriculture and their own needs, where the system has already reached 1.7 times. So that is where the term called Earth Overshoot Day. It is published for every country. Every country it is published. You can go and get the report. So is there anything we can do? So all this, so there is immense potential in terms of sustainability for the new generation. Because don't take it lightly unless we do it today. Your generation going forward, they will not have planet Earth. That's the summary. So thank you all. Any questions there, I'm ready to answer. If there is any question is there, I'll be really surprised. If no questions, it is very, very normal. Because the subject is a very, very, very complex subject. But at least superficially, sir, what is there in for me, for the next generation? So you have already eroded the earth.
Sir, you told many company will publish a sustainability report. If the company publish a fake sustainability report, how can we find?
See, all major corporations beyond certain turnover, they are bound by compliance, Global Reporting Initiative, GRI. It is a mandate for all corporations, any medium-sized companies. They will have in their own, either it will be available in investors relation or you can find that in annual reports. It is mandatory. They have to publish.
Thank you, sir.
Your invaluable insights and eloquent words have enlightened us. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Sir, there is another question, sir. Please.
Sir, very informative presentation today. Yeah. Actually, even the accreditation bodies, even AICT, they are instructing educational institutions, at least this kind of conferences in align with the SDG goals. Even they are supporting the research, publications, workshop, conferences that align with the theme of the sustainability goals. Can you please suggest some mandates for the academic institutions and the students to follow at least some contribution from the academic institution side?
There is a detailed report, Partnership for SDG SDG 17 between industry, R&D institute and the engineering colleges or institutions. So it gives a very good broad level guideline, and that's what I said in one of the slides. How do you go incrementally? Because overnight you can't, because the subject is very vast and it will be very difficult where to start. So you need to have internal brainstorming, all that as part of the institute. Where do you really wanted to go and where do you wanted to contribute with your internal competencies available and the faculty's passion, because passion is also required. Without passion, it will be on paper only. So all that should be aligned. Once that is done, as I said, the GRE reports are available. And you pick up and you identify one or two areas and call the industry for a discussion. No company will say no, because it is actually a burning issue for companies. No clue about how to solve. That's the problem.
Is there any initiative from your side for training or creating awareness program to the academic institutions and the society?
In fact, there are some task force already they have done. And if you go to our own Government of India version of localized SDF initiative, there is a localization report there. That gives about, in terms of how do we really go about right from the transaction level to strategy level, all that is available.
Thank you very much, sir.